well.
Yes, I know
And
that.
that they will be speaking and making decisions as well. How do we do
I saw
that?
I saw that somewhere.
Why?
How do we do that?
Only
If they have a proxy.
If they have a proxy to represent their owner, they can be here.
That's right, otherwise they won't.
Absolutely not, absolutely not. They should be.
I would like to throw out that I'm comfortable with these two taking different aspects as they feel psychologically and practically it would work. I'm really more comfortable with both.
I don't want to render making decisions.
I mean, here, I can help
Yes.
with crowd control
That's
and
not right.
having people heard and things like that, but maybe, Scott could actually deliver the message.
I think Scott would deliver with
I would like Scott to
to not be able to hear all this conversation.
Yes. Okay.
I just moved in.
Hang on a sec, please.
I would like to point out, we've been here 12 years. This is our 5th assessment.
Wow.
Or more.
I
No,
didn't know.
No, it's not.
No. They were as high as $10,000.
No.
The only assessments we've had out here are for
When we
the,
first got here,
okay,
there was $10,000 for the roof. I know how long it took me to pay it. We were told that we had to get R15 windows. That wasn't an assessment, but it was still obliged by the board.
what year was the $10,000 assessment? Because I didn't have to pay that.
We were
I
here
paid
in
like
1999.
And here's some 84 and I didn't pay that.
No.
We've owned since '89 and we never paid $10,000.
No.
We had an assessment for $1,100.
Right.
That was
Yes.
That was in 2000.
2006. 2006.
So, all right, Scott has just volunteered to present the list. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's back him up, Cheryl.
To the list. So they're saying that all this work's gonna be done in 3 years, so why can't we
Pay it.
for it in 3 years?
Yes.
And that's what I had.
Yeah.
And,
Unless, are we in agreement to what Cheryl's saying?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I also amend that if we don't need to pay it back in 7 years, then why don't we need to pay it in 7 years?
Well, that plan has changed.
Right, but if that's the contract that we pay it back in 7, then let's let
For the
us
siding
pay
you're
it
talking
in
about, right?
7.
Well, I would ask for a siding
Over
contract.
3 years.
Did I hear pay for the assessment in over 3 years? We have to be organized because we have a note taker here.
That's an idea.
Yes.
What was said.
Is that what was said?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we raising our hand to that?
Yes.
Yes.
And one more thing I have to say.
Holly wants to say something.
Why in the world would you give the contractor 50% down? Do you think he's gonna stick around and do the work and do a good job?
That's
I would never do that. Every time I paid anyone ahead of time, they leave.
Yeah.
$50,000.
Okay, so this is what we've accomplished so far.
It's 10%.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
We've got Scott, he's gonna present the ideas, I'm gonna help with crowd control, Jackie's gonna write some things up, we're gonna print them out, we're gonna hand them out on the door. Who's gonna help hand out at the door? Holly, we got some hands here, okay, we're gonna hand people out, things out at the door. What else do we need to do for tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're focusing on tomorrow. Do we need to be prepared, as Bruce has said? Bruce has said, they might right there and then be it could be a confrontation.
It's gonna be.
But, so right then and there they say, absolutely not, it's due September 1st from all of you. We gotta be prepared for that. Jackie, you wanna say something?
Yeah, if it comes to that, I propose that the thing to do is stand up from your seat and turn your back on the board and just stand there with your back to the board if it comes to that.
Yeah, what's that gonna do, Jackie?
That
So let's move forward. So that's where I was going. Let's be prepared for what this is saying.
So,
Wait, go ahead, Francis.
Scott, what would we need to do? Let's say the worst case scenario, they say absolutely not. Because there were several people who left, but I've gone to the board and I have to tell you, every time I've talked to Jason, he tells me he will deal with it, everything will work out fine, and I have to tell you, he has never ever come through with his promises to me. I've gone to mediation 3 times, he's promised me stuff in front of the mediators, and it all went, literally was smoke up my you-know-what. So, what are we gonna do? Is there any power that we can have in terms of saying, we're gonna do a proxy? Is there anything we can do at that moment?
Not tomorrow, no.
Not
Yeah.
tomorrow, so what should we
What do we
do?
prepare for the September meeting? And how do we stay organized and keep this momentum going for the preparation that we possibly have to pay something on September 1st? So how do we prepare?
That's
Scott,
good.
you want to talk to that?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, and I've said this in the email, but it's my personal and professional as a contractor opinion. If you're not satisfied with the way something is done, you don't pay for it. And so Bruce is right that they do have the authority to lien your property and do all kinds of horrible things. It's going to take them many months to do that.
And
It's gonna take a lot of money for them to do that.
And a lot of money, yeah, and if there's a significant number of us that just say we're not gonna pay, and I for one will commit to not pay.
Yes,
Me too.
yes,
Then,
yes.
The
then,
thing is, if you put a lien on it,
And
then we
everybody-
that we will we don't want them, you know,
Well, that's-
the manager.
after the list is presented, they'll have an opportunity to say whether they're gonna,
Right, but if they don't.
Right, this is the question, this is where I'm going.
If they say no, absolutely not, will you be able to say, well, then we might overturn the board?
That's right.
And the manager.
Just- just-
That's,
Are we in
do we
agreement
agree
to
with that?
Do we all agree with that? So-
Yes.
so
Yes.
Let's fast forward to tomorrow night. Scott presents the ideas, they say
Everybody's-
no,
Okay.
and he says, okay,
it's proxy.
it's proxies.
Okay,
So,
yes.
Are we all in agreement to that?
Yes.
Yes.
So now I have a question for
Sure.
Scott, and I don't know if you're gonna know the answer to this, because we never came across this when I was on the board. Can you revoke, somebody can motion to revoke this, correct?
Yes, the board members.
Can a
No.
board member revoke her vote?
No, they would just hold another vote to just change the terms of.
Terms, but somebody that voted yes can't turn around and say, I've changed my mind, I really
No,
want
they
to
can't
vote no.
rescind the votes they've already made.
Made.
There would have to be a new motion.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I want to know. Now, are you in agreement that they should have had a full board? This is what I'm
That's-
questioning.
There's there's 2 openings on the board now. And we're not
Right, at
gonna
the-
have them in position
But at the
tomorrow.
time, they only had 7 people there versus 9.
Right.
So, in something this big, can we say why you
There's
did that?
nothing in the bylaws that requires that.
Okay,
Just-
I didn't think so, I was just curious.
So Ed, that would be curious to see if we could question the process to begin with.
Right.
Yes.
I got a question. So I am on the board, so where do I sit tomorrow since I agreed with all of you?
With us, with us.
Sit at the board.
Sit with the board.
I voted no, so.
Yeah.
But
Just sit with the
represent.
board,
But,
let them know.
do your representation, but,
I'm not gonna say a damn word.
no, but, what I was gonna say is then you will stand with us, in this agreement, yes? So you'll stand with us no matter what.
I was gonna say
Okay.
something too. We all talk about not paying, which I think is probably the best thing, because this is the only leeway we have. But the thing, the reality too, is that if, you know, even if somebody's there tomorrow, the percentage of us that don't pay, and some people that do pay, it's still the whole community is involved, because you couldn't sell your condo if you got, even if you got a couple of liens on this place, how are people going to sell the condo? Real estate, the realtor, whatever, are gonna look at this and say, I don't wanna be involved in this. I mean, this is, you know, we don't know, I mean, this is a big picture here too. I think we should, and let these boards know that we're serious. Because the
Yes.
fact is, you know, we need to get back the power. Like, the one thing I have to say, and I know we don't wanna talk about Bonnie, but Bonnie doesn't think that he is our boss. I mean, he thinks that the only people he listens to is the board. And I think that's wrong. As a manager, we are his.
They're working for us.
Right.
He runs the board,
But I think it's important.
he runs the board.
So I think we're coming to a close. Are we all?
Yes,
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 yes.
yes.
The board, she's here.
I think as for what to do in terms of how to handle not paying, I think that's something that we need to examine, but I think we can examine that independent of tomorrow. I think, and I will try and keep the email conversation going. I think there are solutions out there, but let's settle this now for tomorrow and then answer those questions
If
later.
you've got a minute, I'd just like to take a quick poll on the professional management. For Or
think we need more research on it.
professional management, more,
Hiring a
well,
professional.
maybe I'll take, to more research with the professional management, let's just say.
More
who's
research.
open to the idea of
Yes.
professional management.
Absolutely.
Anything's better than.
And who is dead set against it?
We need more information.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So, and that can take time, it doesn't have to be done, it's not gonna be done tomorrow.
I'm just curious, my own education.
Yeah, at the beginning of this past winter, our zone valve on our heater thing broke, and it was really close to after hours. If we had had a professional management company, I would have called and said, you know, we don't have heat, and who knows when they would have gotten back to us. It turns out without the heat, because it was that really cold day, our pipes had frozen, and if our pipes had frozen, I was told that a bunch of other units would also freeze. And so after hours, we had people from Remington Post with like heaters, and they had, you know, electric heaters blasting right at the spot where they were finding out where it was frozen. And they say with a bunch of people from all the pipes being frozen, yes, if our outside exterior walls had been insulated, we wouldn't have had this problem. However, until we get that fixed, the professional management company we would have had a huge problem had they not been able to respond. And they were very
They also have 24 hours.
yeah, but would they respond?
Yes.
I don't have heat.
I move that we close.
Okay, so
Second.
we're all set. I'm sorry. So we're all set for tomorrow.
Yes.
We're backing up Scott. We're ready to go. Jackie's got some things. We got volunteers. We're going to further research this possibility of professional property management. We're going to hear from both sides in the future. We're going to look at with the potential for what this September 20th board meeting looks like, who's there, what action we have to take at that meeting. So we'll stay in communication. Please provide your email to Jackie. Yes, one more.
Okay, one of the things that's happening here, everybody's assuming audit means audit of the money right now. We need to go back at least 5 years or so, because the money started disappearing then. And the other thing is there's more than just financial money. There's also how people are being treated, how someone can come in and look at the property and tell you whether it's.
Guys, somebody's talking.
Somebody's talking.
We're having two dialogues here, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting right next to her and only partially getting what
Okay.
she's saying.
All right, I'll do what I asked the other gentleman to do.
I think she was
Oh,
The audit goes back.
5 years.
audits can be,
communication be better.
and they can be 0 time right now, sometime in the past, or even projected numbers. But they can also be physical things, like the way the ground looks and things
Picture
like
in my camera.
this. Does anybody else besides me know about intentional communities in Colorado?
Is
It's a national, a statewide organization of condominium
Because they
owners and boards and so forth. And they have training sessions and things. And one of the problems with Barney, I think his intentions were well, but Carol trained him.